Happy December 23rd. As you can see, I'm in a different location than what I usually do, but I thought I could use a bit more festive location, and this seems festive enough. With the 25th only 2 days away, I thought I'd review some cult Christmas classics. Silent Night, Deadly Night from 1984, and Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 from 1987. Hey, technically they are Christmas films, just not what everybody thinks of when they say Christmas movie. For the younger crowd of my generation who probably don't know about these movies, Silent Night, Deadly Night was a very controversial film when it came out. It's about a mentally ill young man who is suffering from severe PTSD after seeing his parents brutally murdered by a robber who is dressed in a Santa Claus suit. And as an adult, he now works in a department store, and during the Christmas season, the owners can't find someone to do Santa Claus for the kids, so they force him to put on the suit. And after spending years at a very piss-poor orphanage run by a pretty sociopathic Catholic nun who was extremely unsympathetic to his emotional state, he just snaps when wearing the suit and ends up going on a murder rampage. The trail of bodies all leading back to the orphanage where he suffered so many years of abuse. Now, you hear this plot, you obviously think it's exploitive, and yes, it is. And you also think it's dumb, which, no, it is not. I watched Silent Night, Deadly Night, and I was pleasantly surprised. It's actually a very well-made film, actually pretty good. The development of the main character is very well handled, the plot flows pretty well. The sinister nun is played perfectly by Lillian Chauvin. And the young man character named Billy, who goes on the murder spree dressed as Santa Claus, is played very well by Robert Brian Wilson. And this uncut version offers some awesome fucking gore scenes. So yeah, I totally recommend Silent Night, Deadly Night. It's a great slasher film, and for those who like horror films with a little more depth and heart, I think it also works. The movie was controversial because parents groups freaked the fuck out at seeing what they thought was Santa Claus wielding an axe. And no fucking surprise, they took to protesting any theater that played it, which led to the film being pulled after only 2 weeks. Oversensitive cunts. Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, on the other hand, is technically a bad film, but it's still a lot of fun to watch. Well, the first one was legitimately good in my opinion. The second one is the more so bad it's funny type of movie. My feelings on the second one are very mixed. After an awesome cliffhanger that totally set up a potentially kick-ass sequel, the makers of the second one just blew it. The main character for this film is Ricky, Billy's brother, who follows in his brother's footsteps of being a maniac dressed as Santa Claus. And the first half of the second film is Ricky in a mental institution, talking about his childhood, Billy's childhood. And essentially the first half of this film is just flashbacks of the first movie. Just footage from the first film with a little narration. And when we finally get some scenes with the Ricky character, the film's reputation as one of the most laughably bad horror sequels ever made is owed entirely to the film's lead actor, Eric Freeman. There are some actors who turn in bad performances and you think maybe they're just given bad direction. That's not the case here. Majority of the actors in this film, even when they're not great, they still come off as passable. Eric Freeman, holy shit, is he legitimately bad. I mean, you just watch him and you think, how could anyone cast someone who was so horrible at delivering lines? If this was any other movie, I'm pretty sure they would have started looking for a replacement on day one. However, without Freeman, the movie wouldn't be as enjoyable as it is. And fun fact, there was another actor who was considered for the role of Ricky, and he actually had more experience than Eric Freeman, but the producers hired Eric because they thought he was just more good looking. And you can't fault them for being right in that area, because he is extremely sexy in this. I mean, there are several scenes where he's shirtless and wow, he is just so extremely muscular and dreamy, you can't believe it. Although, you have to wonder, how does an antisocial orphan being raised in an abusive Catholic orphanage find the time to lift until he's Arnold Schwarzenegger size? So, I recommend both Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2. Both films are extremely enjoyable for different reasons, but I think you'll have a good time. You better been good, you better been nice. Santa's coming with an axe to drag your bleeding ass to town. Fa la 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 la. And because it would be a crime for any movie reviewer not to reference this scene, Garbage Day!